The pressure continues to build here in Omaha. It's great for the fans, but nerve-wracking for the teams. This elimination game matches Clemson against the Stanford Cardinals. The Trojans have advanced, and the Oklahoma Sooners season is over. And as day 4 of the College World Series unfolds, only the defending national champions are out of the College World Series. 7 teams still have national championship aspirations, including the Clemson Tigers and the Stanford Cardinals. Growing up in Omaha, this young man, Stanford's Kyle Peterson, has fond childhood memories of Rosenblatt Stadium, but nothing like the ones he may create tonight.
It's every kid's dream to play in the College World Series and to come back home and then be able to play in front of the hometown fans. It's really going to be neat.
This young man from Creighton Prep here in Omaha gets set to take the mound at Rosenblatt in the College World Series. A very pleasant good evening, everybody. Bob Rathman, Steve Garvey, welcome back to Rosenblatt and our coverage of the College World Series. What a moment it must be for Kyle Peterson, Steve, the eyes of the world of baseball watching him, and all his friends and family here in Omaha.
Well, he looks awfully composed, and I guess you or I would be too if we were 13-1 with a 2.96 earned run average, a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, a changeup we can throw anywhere in the count, and 4 guys on your team that can hit the ball completely out of the ballpark.
For the Clemson Tigers, that tough loss to Tennessee a couple of days ago, they're going to go with a flamethrower from Long Island, sophomore Billy Koch, and quite frankly, Steve, he can bring it with the best of them.
He's the closest thing to the wild thing we have here at this College World Series. He can throw 95 miles per hour plus. Sometimes he doesn't know where it's going, and here's a guy with a mentality of a left-hander that can really bring it from that right side. And he's a guy that tonight has to get the ball over early. If he doesn't, these patient Stanford hitters are going to wait and really tee off on him.
The Tigers were caged by Todd Helton in Tennessee here. They had only 4 singles in their 3-1 loss to the Volunteers. We'll see what they can do tonight against Stanford. Welcome back to Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha, Nebraska. Game 8 of the 1995 College World Series. The Clemson Tigers, 54 wins and 13 defeats under head coach Jack Luggett. They line up for their elimination game this way. Shane Monahan, the catalyst of the ball club, leading off in center field. Doug Livingston is a good number 2 hitter, plays second base with a great deal of style. David Miller is the first baseman, a first-round pick of the Indians. Gary Burnham in left field bats cleanup. Matt LaCroix will be the designated hitter tonight. Will Duffy will catch and bat 6th. Seth Freisig, the shortstop, hits 7th. Paul Galloway at third base will bat 8th, and Jerome Robinson will be in right field, and he will bat in the number 9 position. And the man that all of Omaha is talking about, 13-1, Kyle Peterson, set to go to work for Stanford.
Kyle Peterson, big, tall, very composed young man who has 3 good pitches. A fastball, tight little slider, but his number 1 pitch and probably the best changeup in college baseball.
The defense behind him, and it's a good one. Cale Carter, Joe Kilberg, Dusty Allen left to right in the outfield. Steve Garber at third, Eric Sees the shortstop, Ryan Dallimore at second, and Troy Kemp at first base, and All-America A.J. Hinch behind the plate catching Kyle Peterson tonight. There is no question, Steve Garvey, that the table setter for this Clemson ball club is Shane Monahan. Now, in game 1 against Tennessee, Shane went just 1 for 4, couldn't get on base and create some offense for Clemson. Very pivotal to the Tigers' success. Swings on the first pitch and flies out towards center, and Kilberg makes the catch.
And that first swing may be indicative of what Clemson has to do tonight, and that's be aggressive at the plate, because Peterson will be around home plate tonight. He'll work within the strike zone with 3 quality pitchers.
Well, Monahan, in his 5 College World Series at-bats, has swung at the first pitch every time. Doug Livingston, the second baseman, is up next. He went 0 for 3 against Todd Helton in Tennessee here 2 nights ago, and his batting average down to 258. But don't let that deceive you. He can do a lot of things with that stick. Good hit one man and great bunches. Kyle Peterson doing things on the mound for Stanford in his freshman year that even Jack McDowell couldn't accomplish. Jack won 11 games as a Stanford first-year man. The short and see throws out Livingston. 2 up and 2 down. The umpiring crew tonight, Ken Eldridge will call the balls and strikes. Bob Homolka is at first base. Dale Williams at second. Rich Fetchett, the umpire, at third base. Quickly 2 up and 2 down. Kyle Peterson now to face the lefty swinging David Miller. The sweep swing of Dave Miller, an average of 382, 9 home runs, and 44 runs batted in. Miller was 1 for 3 in the game against Tennessee. This one is fouled away.
A certain amount of urgency, of course. A loss tonight eliminates either one of these teams, so we should see both teams going up swinging.
And David Miller quickly behind, no balls and 2 strikes. Kyle Peterson at 6 feet 3 and 190 pounds from the Omaha suburb of Elkhorn, Nebraska. Went to Omaha Prep, and he's going to enjoy an easy 1, 2, 3 inning. And sees, throws out Miller at first base. A 1-2-3 job for Peterson. All right, now let's go downstairs to Larry Conley in the Kyle Peterson reading section.
Thanks, Bob. You know, it's a great story. You take a kid from Nebraska, he grows up in Omaha, you send him off to a prestigious university and a great baseball school, then you ask him to come back and pitch after he's won 13 games during the season. Obviously, he has a lot of friends and a lot of family. Now, how many of you got tickets from Kyle Peterson? Stand up. There you go, guys.
Well, that's a long pass list. The Stanford Cardinal at 39 and 24. Mark Marquez and his Cardinal getting set to take on the Tigers for the first time. These two teams have gone head-to-head in baseball. Joe Kilberg is the leadoff man in center field. Cale Carter is in left, batting second. And All-American catcher A.J. Hinch in the 3-hole. Steve Carver, the cleanup man, and Dusty Allen in right field. That's a great 3-4-5 combination. Brian Dallimore, the second baseman, bats sixth. The designated hitter is John Schaefer, hitting seventh. Troy Kent at first base, bats eighth. And the shortstop, Eric Sees, in the number 9 hole. And on the mound for the Clemson Tigers, Billy Koch.
And we're going to talk a lot about Billy Koch tonight from West Babylon, New York. Billy Koch with the exploding fastball. As we talk to Jack Liggett, the coach of Clemson, if he gets that ball over early, he's going to be very effective. Very confident young man within himself.
The Clemson Tigers defensively show Gary Burnham, Shane Monahan, and Jerome Robinson in the outfield. Paul Galloway, Seth Isaac on the left side of the diamond. Livingston and Miller on the right. Will Duffy is the catcher tonight. Billy Koch at 7-1. And the opposition batting just 201 against him. Ready to go to the mound for the Clemson Tigers. This is center fielder Joe Kilberg getting set to lead things off for Stanford. He was 0 for 5 in the game against Fullerton Saturday. And that dropped his seasonal average under 300. An opening strike from Billy Koch.
You and I talked about power against power. The Stanford team loves fastballs, and they can hit them a mile when they make contact.
Coach Marquis saw that first fastball committed 94 miles an hour. The opposite man in the dugout is Jack Leggett in his second year at the helm of the Clemson Tigers, and has directed his ball club to the College World Series. Let's go to the gun and see just what Billy is firing up there. Another 94 fastball, 1 and 2. A little giddy up on that ball.
Well, normally a pitcher takes an inning or two to get loose. Billy Koch is loose.
Yeah, he got hot in the bullpen, no doubt. And a comeback. Fields it flawlessly. One going here at the bottom of the first inning, and left fielder Cale Carter coming up next for Stanford. Beautiful evening here in Omaha, 76 degrees. A lot of clouds and a 60% chance of rain. And the wind from right to left across the outfield at 12 miles an hour. If you recall the Saturday game against Fullerton, Stanford jumped off to a 3-0 lead in the first inning. They picked up back-to-back home runs. The first coming from this man, Cale Carter. A 2 for 5 day for Cale. 1 home run this season, an average of .324. Nobody on and 1 away. No score, first inning. And into the field. You should point out, Steve, about watching guys on the radar gun. It's not the fact that you can throw 93. The hitters can adjust to that. It's does that ball move?
And at this level, the hitters can adjust to it, especially the 8 teams here. They are fastball hitting teams predominantly who adjust to the breaking ball. But that fastball has to move. In other words, it has to run in from one side to the other. It's got to tail away. It's got to sink. That's how it's going to be effective. Even you think 94 miles per hour, this is going to overpower a college player. But it really won't. Not with the ability to swing the bat that Stanford has.
Cale Carter at first base, 9 steals and 16 opportunities this season. And Clemson thinking that Cale might be up to something. They're working pretty tight over first base.
Cale Carter makes things happen for this Stanford team. He really has been hot lately. Not only getting on base, but taking the extra base and being aggressive. He's a real spark plug for this Stanford team.
And foul back. Symmetrical ballpark here in Omaha. Rosenblatt, 332 down the lines in left and right. 7-foot high fence and 408 to dead center. That center field wall cleared the other day. The home runs really have been flying out of the ballpark. AJ had one off Clemson's Ted Silva here Saturday. 18 home runs in 7 World Series games to date.
And I think at least 3 in the game prior to this one this afternoon. So even though it's been rainy and there's been some humidity, the ball's still flying around because we have usually a 10 to 15 mile per hour breeze going from left to right or towards center.
And again, belly flopping back is Carter at first base.
Hinch, an interesting young man to watch. He's been on the USA team and is really primed and destined for the Olympic team in '96.
1-2, and again, Billy Koch hitting 94 on our gun.
If he can throw 94 or even just in the low 90s and keep it low like that, he's going to be very effective. If he gets it up 2 or 3 inches to mid-thigh, that's when you hit him.
And the runner on the move. The throw down. Save! Livingston, the second baseman, with a tag, but going in underneath is Cale Carter with his 10th steal of the season. Looked like Will Duffy had a pretty good pitch to handle and got rid of it quickly.
We just talked about Cale Carter making things happen for Stanford. This time an excellent jump off of Billy Koch. See the high leg kick? It takes a little longer to get the ball, but it's a good fastball. Little low. Now if he gets rid of the ball, Carter comes in head first. Where's the tag? Tag's on the behind. The hands are on the base. Bunch of clutch hitter.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Mentioned Duffy behind the plate, catching Billy Koch tonight. That's the way Clemson likes to work it. Usually it's Matt LaCroix. He'll catch about 2 out of every 3 games, but Duffy gets in there when Koch is on the mound. Into the air to right. Robinson. He'll make the catch. That wind held him that fly ball. Carter remains at second.
Stanford's offensive game plan is to get runners on base. Why? Because then you get Billy Koch working from a stretch. And as you could see with that last reading, he threw his fastball at 88 miles per hour instead of a windup at 94 miles per hour. That's 6 miles per hour less. That's really good hitting speed at 88. So Stanford may drop the ball down with guys that can push and drag, and then let the big boys swing away.
Steve Carver hitting a home run in that first inning 2 days ago off Ted Silva. He and Hinch going back to back. Steve, drafted by the Boston Red Sox out of high school, the Bowles School in Jacksonville. And this young man spent some time as a youngster in the Bay Area. Said that playing for Stanford was a childhood dream of his, and that dream has come true. And what a great year he's had. And boy, has he been hot lately. 4 home runs in the regional, and then a 4-run home run here the other day. 1 ball and 1 strike. As we mentioned, this is the 8th game of the series, so the standings really starting to take on added significance. This, of course, in bracket 2, the loser is eliminated. Oklahoma has already gone back to Norman, falling last night to Southern California. The defending champs knocked out.
Watch Carver's bat speed.
Fouled away.
He's increased his bat speed over the second half of this season, and that's why he's starting to take the good fastball on the inside part of the plate and pull it to the home run. He used to be able to hit it to right center, but now as he matures and gets quicker, that ball really jumps. And as you could see, he was trying to take the ball the other way on the pitches outside. He's learning how to be a professional hitter.
Particularly a hard thrower. What was going through your mind?
Well, first of all, I wanted to see a pitch. First time up, I wanted to see a pitch. Normally, a hard throw, throw a fastball. You want to see his delivery, his release point, and get a reading on his velocity. You just can't go up there swinging.
Carver stays alive. Still 2-2.
Koch may get Carver out this time. Carver has seen so many pitches that this is going to be a big benefit. Watch this. See how he really gets that bat through the hitting zone. He's right on the ball, just a little bit under. He's really starting to get a gauge on Koch's fastball. Koch has got to mix his pitches up a little bit.
Now a full count to Steve Carver. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Clemson really respects Carver's power because all of the pitches have been fastballs away. Took a little off the fastball before, cut it up there for ball 2, I believe. Now it's a situation. It's a hitter's count now. 3-2. He's not going to try a changeup or a curve. He's going to try heat.
He fouled off 3 and then bangs 1 through the right side.
And got to a hitter's count, got his pitch, and did what all good hitters do. Got a hit. Good shot through the right side.
Now right fielder Dusty Allen, the young man who broke his bone in his left hand before the season, that hamate bone. Missed 2 months of the season. He's back and has really picked up the Stanford ball club since his return. 5 home runs and the on-base percentage at 37.
Bob, I can relate to Dusty. I broke a hamate bone in 1971 in my hand, and it took 6 weeks to get back playing and probably another 6 weeks to get all the strength back.
1 ball, 1 strike. We talked about Koch's fastball, but that slider's hitting our gun at about 87 miles an hour. Stanford has drawn first blood here in the first inning, and there's a drive to center field. Monahan going back, nothing he can do, and he's gone.
About the power, the 95-mile-per-hour fastball of Koch against the big bats of Stanford. Take a look at this power swing. He accelerates this ball. Good backspin all the way. This ball gets up in the air, hits halfway off the 26-foot second wall in center field. It's about a 430-foot drive.
For Billy Koch, it's the 9th home run that he's allowed this season. And all smiles in that Stanford dugout, and why not? Homer number 6 for Allen. And the homer count here at the World Series continues. That's the 19th home run in this, the 8th game of the College World Series. Second baseman Brian Dallimore, another red-hot hitter, standing in the box. And he hammers one down the left field line, a fair ball rolling toward the corner. Barnum over to chase it as it pings in the corner. And Dallimore on his way to second. And the ball, eluding the cutoff man, rolls to the mound, and Dallimore comes to third.
Aggressive Cardinal baseball, making things happen. Playing little ball and big ball.
Heads up Dallimore on the bases as he hammered that ball into the left field corner. When Burnham fired it in, you'll see here the ball just skips right through the cutoff man's legs.
You've got to execute the fundamentals. You got to stay in front of it.
Seth Isaac with the error. This is John Schaefer popping to shallow right. And the second baseman Livingston makes the catch. But the Stanford Cardinal racking Billy Cox with 3 runs, 2 on the Dusty Allen home run. What do we got? Nothing Stanford, and we're going to have to call this home run by Dusty Allen metal to metal. Listen. Another hit in the batter's eye out there in center. On the home run by Dusty Allen to cap a 3-run first inning. But keep in mind, Stanford also got 3 in the first against Fullerton and could not hold on to the lead. But the Clemson Tigers, their bats, Steve, have gone silent. They did not manage an extra base hit against Tennessee, and I get a feeling there's a great sense of urgency now in that Tiger dugout.
Lots of pressure. They went up swinging the first inning. They've got to be a little more patient. They've got to force Kyle Peterson to get the ball over. First inning, 6 pitches, 6 strikes. That's one thing to say and one thing to have him do. We've got to be a little more patient.
And Gary Burnham rips a base hit into right. Gary's second hit of the World Series starts the Clemson second.
Peterson got to pitch as if it was 0-0. That fastball was up with very little on it that time.
And here's a dangerous man at the plate in Matt LaCroix, the big hulking first baseman from Belton, South Carolina. He put a charge in a ball here 2 days ago against Tennessee. Crushed it. He was hit to the warning track and center, caught by the Volunteers. This guy has tremendous strength. Team leader in home runs with 15, and that's a freshman record at Clemson. There's the foul. Let's go back to the home run of Dusty Allen.
Was that straight? That acceleration?
Mr. Koch with a very helpless feeling on the mound. The 0-2 to LaCroix. And this hit to first base. Kent knocks it down. He'll take it to the bag and return to LaCroix. Carter moves up to second.
Troy Kent makes an excellent play on a one-hop shot. Troy Kent's very, very good first baseman. Only 3 errors and 450 chances this year. Looks exactly like his dad, who was an old teammate and friend of mine in Tampa, Florida. A little handsomer, I think.
Will Duffy, the catcher. Peterson opens with a strike. Will Duffy coming off a great regional. 0-2 and struck out a couple of times against Tennessee. He hammers one to second. And the race to the back. But he said did not get doubled off.
Stanford's going to win, yes, on the big ball, but they're also going to win with the guy on the mound making good pitches and letting him hit the ball on the ground, because they've got a very, very good infield. That infield's going to make some good plays and some solid double plays tonight.
Peterson has thrown 13 pitches so far, and 12 of them for strikes. Now 13 strikes and 14 pitches, so he is really on his game.
Bob, to be perfectly honest with you, though, he really hasn't thrown much so far. Clemson's hit the ball pretty hard. That fastball is just average getting up there, and the changeup hasn't been much of a contrast.
Swing foul, rising behind at 0-2. I'm just going to say that Burnham's ball was hard hit, and McCroy and Duffy put pretty good aluminum on the ball also.
He's got to rely on location right now until he gets a little more velocity and better arm speed with his changeup.
Peterson's last start was in the regional championship game. Complete game win with 11 strikeouts against Texas Tech. Against Stanford here. Rising strikes in, and that's all for the Tigers. So the leadoff single by Burnham is wasted. Tigers leave a man and trail 3-0. Looking back to Omaha, and that last strikeout of Rising. Kyle Peterson, a very happy young man, the pump of the fist, charging back to the dugout. Well, a lot of emotions running through that young man right now.
It should take him 3 innings to settle down, Bob, really, because of being on the mound for the first time, obviously in the World Series, but being home, the anticipation of all the fans and friends here. Done a good job the first 2 innings.
3-0 Stanford leading Clemson as we move to the bottom of the second inning. First baseman Troy Kent, junior from the Tampa area, and an opening strike from Billy Koch. At the start of the season, he filled in for the injured Dusty Allen at first base. His outstanding player in the full-time job, and he gets a base hit up the middle. Troy Kent with his second World Series hit. And the leadoff man is on for shortstop Eric Seeds. I mean, look at this average that Eric puts up there, 247. You think, well, batting ninth, maybe a weak hitter, but it's the inconsistency that has dropped Seeds' average down. He has really delivered some big hits for Stanford this year. For example, at the regional, he only hit 208. In Wichita, but he had the game-winning RBI single in the bottom of the ninth against Texas Tech in the second of the 3 games against the Raiders.
You'll see championship teams with shortstops who bat eighth who just happen to drive in 50-60 runs with a 250 average, play shortstop championship style. This is the kind of guy that Eric Seeds is. He does all the things in the field he has to do and then get a key hit.
He's hit to right. Up with it quickly. Holding at second is Troy Kent. Stanford with men at first and second. Talked about that Midwest 1 regional for Stanford. You see the loss to Texas Tech. Look at the scores of the games against the Raiders. Stanford coming back to beat Lamar in a loser's bracket game. Then they had to beat Texas Tech. They did. Forced another championship game and won that one 6-5 to earn the 8th and final berth in this year's World Series.
And they feel blessed to be here. They felt Texas Tech had as strong a team, as good a quality of athlete as any team they have faced, and as any team here at the College World Series. But Stanford earned it.
Billy Koch has yielded 6 hits to the last 8 men that he's faced, and he clumps Joe Kilburn. So nothing going right for Billy. Stanford with the bases loaded now. Nobody out, and Cale Carter coming up, and Jack Leggett coming out of the pen. Now the Clemson bullpen has just started activity, and that is right-hander Jeff Sauvé. And in a loser's bracket situation, Steve, you can't wait around. Jack Leggett can't wait for Billy Koch to settle down. He may have to make a move, and he's going to go to the bullpen right here and bring Sauvé into the game. 3-0 Stanford in the bottom of the second. Young Billy Koch wiping the brow, just can't believe what's happened to him. An inning plus and knocked out of the box in the College World Series as he yields 3 runs and 6 hits, and he's responsible for the 3 men aboard Kent Seas in Kilberg as Clemson goes to the bullpen for right-hander Jeff Sauve, the senior from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, coming on to work in his 23rd appearance, his first of the World Series.
Sauve with a good fastball, tight slider, sinks the ball. Very aggressive on the mound. Comes into a situation with nobody out and bases loaded. The Stanford Cardinal. Cardinal leading 3-0. This is the bottom of the second inning. And the big boys are starting to come up. Carter, Hinch, Carter, Allen.
Dale Carter singled to left his first time, stole a base, and later scored in a 3-run Stanford first inning. Steve, Marty Aronoff just handed us a note, and I think it underscores a point about nervousness in these big games for the first time. Nearly half the runs that have scored in this World Series have scored in the first 2 innings.
No matter how you tell the young players, don't get nervous, go out and have fun. This is the biggest moment of their lives. It's important to them. They don't want to fail. They want to do well. They're going to be tight. They're going to be tight the first game they play, and they're going to be tight in a situation where they could be eliminated, like tonight. They've worked hard to get here.
Fouled away. Things have not gone well over the years for the Clemson Tigers as they lost the first game to Tennessee and extended their College World Series losing streak to 6 straight. They haven't won a World Series game since '77. The Jack Leggett's ball club has had more than a share of come from behind victories this season. In the regionals against Jacksonville and Winthrop, they were way back early and rallied to win. In fact, that Winthrop game that you saw, Billy Koch was the starter. He got knocked out of the box in the 4th inning. Clemson came back to win, but a little bit better competition there in Omaha. To second, Livingston for 1, and drives up to first for 2. Troy Kent scores on the play. That makes it 4-0 Stanford. The Clemson does get a very big double play.
Scores a run, and that's exactly what the Cardinal wants. They want to get another run on the board. I always talk about that 4-run theory of getting at least 4 runs ahead so that one swing will only tie you and not beat you. Yes, it's early in the game, but what they want to do is keep getting momentum.
A.J. Hinch drives a bunt down with 2 outs, and it's a beauty. It's going to roll down. Fair ball. First single.
That went off and fell Hinch's leg.
Now they're calling it a foul in the box.
Good attempt by Hinch, but the ball bounced off him.
But talk about surprising the house. Your number 3 hitter dropping down a bunt with 2 outs.
Why not? I mean, this is what you want to do. Surprise. See, it comes up, bounces off him, goes down the line. It's a heck of a bunt where you bounce it and then use your body like a la Reggie Jackson did and deflect the ball back in the World Series. But I've always thought that's a great play. 2 outs, guy on third baseman backs up. He figures he's going to try to drive the run in. All you got to do is get it down the line. You've got to hit an RBI.
2-1. Jeff Sauve, pitcher who features a good fastball that will hit in the upper 80s and a slider.
So what you do too, now you've planted the seed in third baseman. He's 4 or 5 steps in, you can hit it by him.
Sauve falls behind 3-1. You see Galloway in third baseman.
He's just taken a step or 2 back, but he was even with a bag, if not in front of him. Now he backs up farther. I'd say if you got a lot of confidence in your ability to bunt, try it again.
Strike call. Hinch took a step toward first, but yanked back by the plate umpire Ken Eldridge. None of the umpires behind home plate felt this was ball 4.
Let's take a look at this pitch. Looks about 4 inches outside to me, unless they're giving an easement at this point in the game.
There's strike 3 on a breaking ball. On speed. Solve picks up the strikeout. Stanford settles for 1 run on 2 hits, and they leave a man at third. 4-0 over Clemson. Well, the glove is almost bigger than she is. Looks a little bit like Olivia Gardner.
That's right. Yeah. She started sleeping with my old first baseman until Candace found out. I said, well, she's going to maybe absorb some of the game that way. She said, let's get the new mid in there, big guy.
Last time the Clemson Tigers won a World Series game was 1977. They beat Temple 13-4. Just the reverse on the record for the Stanford Cardinals. Great success under Coach Marcos. National champs in 87 and 88, and their 9th College World Series appearance overall. First trip here since 1990. 4-0, Stanford leading. And across the river, Kenny Fouts tells us we're looking at the great state of Iowa. Plenty of Missouri, and then back into Nebraska and Rosenblatt Stadium. Bob Rathman, Steve Garvey, and TV dude Larry Connolly with you. 4-0 is our score. The Cardinal on top, and here's Paul Galloway leading it off. Paul Galloway, we found out today, was named first-team academic All-America. Our congratulations to Paul. He has never made a B in college. Straight A's, a 4.0. It's nice to know, Steve Garvey, that I've got something in common with Galloway. I didn't make a B in college either.
That's right. I would have loved to have got all B's. Not only has he made straight A's, but in engineering.
Fouled at third base.
Had some straight A's in that physical education. Engineering. Different.
Paul had 2 home runs in 1 game against Navy in the regionals. He did 9 for the season. Former walk-on from Camden, South Carolina. That's something. 4 points. That's the first of playable. Troy Kent behind the coaching box. The Tiger bats remain silent here at the World Series. And 11 1/3, 4 singles. That's it. Pretty good ratio for Mr. Peterson.
Excellent. The only thing I mentioned before was that his fastballs were relatively straight. Not quite the velocity that he's used to, but again, take the first 3 innings as warm-up innings for a pitcher, especially a pitcher with the size of Kyle Peterson.
Jerome Robinson is the man at the plate for the Tigers. His average after an 0 for 3 series opener. Out of Waynesboro, North Carolina. Hey, here's a look at that. Isn't that great? Souvenir time. Boy, you really like that hat, too.
You know, I lost my hat. Now I know who's got it. I'm happy for him. So is his dad. Just seeing that young man there. Both you and I have young sons. Wouldn't it be just a joy to have our sons play in this College World Series someday?
Fantastic.
To have our sons experience this, and the memories of a lifetime, and knowing they've worked hard and learned what it's like to be on a team and play as a teammate.
Fouled away. Carver giving chase, but this one's well back into the seats. 2-2. Well, more memories are just around the corner at the College World Series. 3:30 tomorrow. The elimination game between Florida State and Southern Cal. Mike Patrick and Fred Lynn will have their excellent call at 3:30 tomorrow right here on ESPN. Well, the game's starting to, but this thing starts so quickly and you're into it, a doubleheader every day, then all of a sudden our friends start to leave us. Teams are eliminated. And just like that, it seems we come down to a Friday and a situation where 2 teams are headed to a championship game.
And there goes that ton of material that we start out with.
Yeah.
We're going to be down to only a little under 1,000 pounds after the day.
Well, Robinson, a quality at bat here, following this away.
It's good at bat. Very good at bat, not only for Robinson, but for Clemson. Forcing Peterson to throw some pitches. Seeing him a little more. Even if you're on the bench or in the on-deck circle, you get a better feel for his velocity and what he throws from where.
And pulls this one into right field for a base hit. Nice job by Jerome Robinson.
I would venture to say Anytime a hitter sees 6 or 7 pitches, he's got a good chance of getting hit. Let's take a look at this. It's a low pitch, goes down. You can see how he keeps his head in there all the way until the bat turns over. It's a good job of hitting.
Shane Monahan. He's got a streak going. He swung at the first pitch in all 5 of his World Series at-bats.
I'd give him the take sign.
And it comes in for ball 1.
I would force him to take a pitch. He's obviously pressing. He's obviously wants to get a hit so bad he's going to swing anything he can see. You know what? I would have forced him to take a strike. 4 runs down. Make him see a strike. He really hasn't swung any strikes.
There has been a hit machine during his Clemson career. Last season fell 5 hits shy of the NCAA single season record for hits in a year. He had 137 in the college season. Remarkable. Robinson back in the bag. Monahan with 106 hits this year. And an average just under 400, 394. Up the middle. Be cut off. And another drive. Nicely done by Brian Dalmore, the Stanford second baseman. Keeps the score Stanford 4, Clemson nothing in the middle of the 3rd. The Stanford Cardinal leading Clemson 4-0. The winner of this game will meet the Tennessee Volunteers tomorrow. UT losing earlier this afternoon to Cal State Fullerton. The loser of this game is eliminated from the 49th College World Series. Bob Rathman, Steve Garvey, Larry Conley. Welcome back to Rosenblatt. Here we go to the 3rd with Steve Garvey leading it off for Stanford. RBI singing away this first time. Big man, Steve, 6'3", 220. The Stanford club, they can send some very physically imposing figures to the plate.
They have a classic picture on their yearbook, which has Carver and Allen and Hinch on it. It's just a beautiful picture. But these guys look like redwoods standing on the cover.
Yes, the Stanford Sequoias.
How apropos.
They grow big on the farm.
Growing big on the farm, and no matter how fast you can swing that bat, if you can contrast that fastball from about 85 to a 76-mile-per-hour changeup, you're going to get some guys out and make them swing and miss just like Steve Carver did.
In the air, right field to deep. Robinson back, still back, it is gone. Steve Carver with his 2nd World Series home run. Stanford 5-0.
I forgot to mention that you can change speeds, but don't throw the same pitch in the same spot 2 times in a row. Let's take a look at this home run. 77-mile-per-hour curve before. Now we come back to live action. We'll get back to that in just a moment. But 2 pitches, a mile per hour apart in the same location. Bobby, you could have taken it out that time.
That's right. Yeah, maybe with Big Bertha.
I know you're a doubles hitter, line drive hitter, but you could have taken him out. The face of a happy man.
Steve Carver's 14th home run this season. This one bending foul. Here's another look at Carver's home run.
The body balance, once he accelerates, just launches it.
And into the parking lot.
That's a bounce. Boy, that's a 100 compression baseball right there. And he just squashed it.
2nd Stanford home run of the game. This man, Dusty Allen, hit a 2-run shot in the 1st inning. Despite missing all that time, Dusty was 3rd on the team in home runs.
We talk about Carver's power. Dusty Allen equal power.
What an outstanding World Series young Steve is enjoying. Ball 4 to Dustin. First walk-alone by reliever Jeff Sauvé.
Not unexpected. Anytime you let up a mammoth home run, Sauvé did to Carver, he's going to be a little tentative around the plate.
Brian Dallamore's double to the left field corner in the first inning extended his hitting streak to 12 games. Foul back. Well, Sauvé, after getting out of that second inning, has yielded a home run and a walk here. And the Clemson bullpen is once again active. They have left-hander Brian Matz heating up.
Clemson down by 5 now in the top of the third inning. They won't waste too much time with a pitcher that can't get the ball over.
Sauvé, starting place kicker on the Clemson football team. Clemson's Dallamore to swing at this.
Jack Leggett, what is he thinking now? He's thinking we've got to hold him right there. A double play ball. And I'll think of something, but right now he's got to stop the Stanford Cardinal bats from exploding.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The Stanford coaches were telling us this morning, Steve, and one reason for Dallamore's improvement has been his adjustment to hitting the breaking ball well. Mark was really happy for this young second baseman. He's got a great glove.
I've seen Brian the last couple of years doing baseball on the West Coast, Pac-10 baseball, and no player looked worse on breaking balls last year than Brian Dallamore. In the first part of this year, he started to foul them off a little better. And now he's starting to have better balance on the breaking ball, and that's what you really need. You need to stay back and hit the ball where it's pitched.
Just off the plate. 3-2. You can see the average dipping as a sophomore, but back up to 324 this year.
You see, as a sophomore, they started throwing him the breaking pitches. As a freshman, they're throwing fastballs. Then they found out that he had trouble with a breaking pitch, off-speed pitch, and that's why the average went down.
Found a way.
See how he went with that pitch that time? Last year, he wouldn't go with that pitch. He'd still try to pull it, and that's where you're going to sacrifice 25, 30 points in your average.
I mentioned that hitting streak up to 12. He had a 3-for-4 game against Fullerton here 2 days ago. Foul back.
Stanford still being aggressive with nobody out. Now in running one, a full count. Lots of confidence in Dallamore making contact.
That gets Allen back. He's 6 for 9 on the base paths.
Still early in the game. You've got to be aggressive, even with a 5-run lead.
Moving the dribbler up the line. Sauvé is going to tag out. Paulman Brian Dallamore. On an assistant, Allen down to second. First out of the inning. John Schaefer, the DH, is coming up next.
Dallamore doing a good job of not succumbing to being tagged, forcing Sauvé to really go after him that time.
Can't go underground there the first pitch.
No. Don't have time to dig a hole. You can stop and go all the way back to the plate. Of course, once you go past the plate, you're going to be out.
Now Dusty Allen retakes his lead. John Schaefer settles in the box. This is the heir apparent to A.J. Hinch as the catcher at Stanford. Hinch drafted in the 3rd round. First catcher chosen.
Now that was a good example of a backup slider that time. expecting it to break, and it just spins and backs up a little bit, stays inside, and freezes you. If he gets that one over the plate, it's probably about 380 feet in left center.
This one fouled to first. David Miller giving chase in front of the Clemson dugout, but instead it's into the second row. 0-2 on Schaefer. John's dad, Fred, the head baseball coach of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. And, or rather, Brian Dallamore's dad, I should say. And John Schaefer, this kid was hot. It's cooled off a little bit here. Went 1 for 4 in the World Series in the first game against Fullerton. 5-0. Stanford out in front. And that hit him right between the 2 and the 4 in his back. 87-mile-an-hour offering from Jeff Sauvé, and that may have left the stitches.
Ouch. I always wanted to get hit with a screwball or a change-up or a very slow curve.
It's painful up here in the booth.
I think he's got China for a little wing back there or something. The mics are great nowadays. Good job, Ray. Yes, that's right. Do not rub it. Do not rub it. These kids are tough. They're big. They're tough.
Allen at second. Schaefer at first. One away, and Troy Kemp, the first baseman. Troy with a base at the center field, his first time. Sometimes Stanford will put some men in motion when Kent is at the plate. Let's see if Mark Marquis has anything up his sleeve here.
Good contact hitter, and Salve's about one hitter away from being taken out.
1-1. Schaefer, a lot of scars. 13 times hitting the pitch.
That's a good spot to be hit, though. A lot of meat back there at the latissimus. Big word, huh? Michigan State. Anatomy, physiology.
1 ball, 2 strikes. It's supposed to be a very frustrating time for Clemson. Just overmatched by Helton the other night. Koch today didn't have it. So Bay's struggling. The offense is in the deep freeze.
The only thing they have going for them is they have 6 innings. They've got 18 swings left. They've got time.
Now 2-2. Kent held his swing, says first base umpire Bob Hamilton. The Stanford Ball Club was the preseason #1 team in the country. We talked about their injury problems, and quite frankly, they were lucky to make the NCAA tournament field. They had to go to Arizona State and sweep the Devils in Tempe. That really is what powered them into the tournament. Here's Bryson going to second for 1. Livingston tied it up with a double play. Well, the Tigers turned 2 to win the 3rd inning, but the home run by Carver put Stanford up 5-6. Stanford behind this sensational freshman, Kyle Peterson, leading by a score of 5-0. The young man from Omaha, a frequent visitor to the College World Series. He thinks back on his remembrances.
I remember a lot of things. I remember Paul Carey's home run in '87 to win the game for Stanford. Remember Creighton in the series in '91 and how the hometown fans helped them out a lot. I'm kind of hoping that maybe we can get a little of that support tonight.
Well, they certainly got enough on the pass list to make some noise in the stands tonight. And Kyle Peterson named the National Freshman of the Year by Collegiate Baseball. He has done things that even Jack McDowell did not accomplish at Stanford. Jack's freshman year, he won 11 games, and that was Stanford's '85 College World Series team. And here's Kyle Peterson, 1 win away from equaling the single season record at Stanford. Right out of the glove of Kent into right field. Doug Livingston aboard with the 3rd Tiger hit of the game. Kyle Peterson brings with him a 2.96 earned run average for the ball game tonight. The young man that we saw last night, USC's Randy Flores, he and Peterson, the co-six-pack pitchers of the year this year. Driven to left center field. That ball is well hit. Carter, though, is going to have room at the fence to make the catch. Now the Tigers have been waiting for David Miller to show that extra base hitting strength. Drove that ball deep to left center.
David Miller, as good a hitter as Monahan. If things are going right, this ball's out. But it's 3 feet short.
Now Gary Burnham, left-handed hitting left fielder, who singled to right in the second. '27 doubles for Burnham this year. That's a new Clemson single-season record. And Livingston at first base for the Tigers and 1 away. Livingston with 12 steals and 15 attempts. 5-0 Stanford.
Peterson a little bit up in the strike zone. So the first 3 hitters for Clemson this inning. Got to get the ball down. Double play balls have been effective for him.
And a number out to short. Won't be able to get 2 here. But Burnham is retired at first and sees. Throws him out at first base. Kyle Peterson was looking for some support for his Stanford teammates. Well, in his 17 starts, Stanford has just pounded the opposition. Makes it a little easier to pitch when you've got all those runs in your back pocket. They handed him 3 in the first inning tonight, 1 in the second, and another in the third. DH Matt LaCroix.
Good example of Kyle Peterson working inside. Kyle Peterson is not afraid to throw inside. You don't see that very often. You don't see it in the major leagues, and you don't see it in college baseball.
And again, in at the knees, 2-0. Let's check out the TV dude downstairs, Larry.
Thanks, Bob. I've been sitting here with Jody LaCroix, Matthew LaCroix's dad. Jody, I have to ask the question. You pass up a $375,000 bonus, second round from the New York Mets for sending to college. Why?
Okay, it was a tough decision, and we left it up to Matthew. And I think Matthew felt like that if he went professional, he'd close the doors on a lot of things, the college experience, the hopes of playing on the Olympic team next year, and also a chance for the College World Series. And he was going with a good team, and I think he weighed all that with the experience he'd get in college, and he felt like he could handle the professional a lot better if he waited 3 or 4 years.
Well, you pass up second round money, guys. It's got to be important to you.
Indeed. And this young man, Larry, is just at the start of what will be a sensational baseball career.
And I've always thought, Bob, that just as was mentioned there about the college experience, being away from home in a good program, the education you get is really worth whatever you sacrifice.
Hanging high, Gilbert comes over, can't hang on. Coming around is Livingston to score. As LaCroix reaches, Clemson breaks through. It's 5-1. A valiant try by Joe Kilberg in center field. He's got the great speed out there. Just couldn't hang on to the baseball. There we go as an RBI single for Matt LaCroix.
Didn't hit this ball real hard, but he comes in and it really is waist high. Just can't seem to secure it. Got a bad jump on the ball. May have lost sight of it a little bit. And it's a run for Clemson.
Now Will Duffy. Lined out to second his first time. And he pops it up. Shortstop Eric Sees backpedaling. He'll give way to Cale Carter. And that retires the side. But Clemson breaks through with a run on 2 hits and they leave a man at the end of 3 1/2, 5-1 Stanford. Stanford with a 5-1 lead here at the College World Series over the Clemson Tigers in Game 8. This is an elimination game. We moved to the bottom of the 4th. And this reminder, friends, the National Hockey League Stanley Cup playoffs continue on ESPN. Western Conference final game number 3. This has been an outstanding series. Red Wings leading Chicago 2-0. They have scored unanswered goals in the third period. The game winner yesterday with 2 minutes to play last night. 8 p.m. tomorrow on ESPN. I'm sure that the Ilitch family would love to get that Stanley Cup back in Detroit. Gone the longest now after the Rangers won last year without winning. And they have got a powerhouse hockey club in a tough series, though, with the Blackhawks. We'll see it tomorrow. Eric Sees, the Stanford shortstop. Takes an opening strike, leading off the Stanford 4th inning. 5-1 Cardinals. Jeff Sauvé in relief of Billy Koch for the Tigers. Had 2 strikes. One thing has become apparent, Steve Garvey. The 3 California clubs have brought the big bats with them from the West Coast to Middle America. In the World Series to date, Fullerton has scored 17 runs on 27 hits in 2 games. USC has scored 19 runs. And Mark Marquis' Stanford Ball Club, 10 runs and 22 hits, and they've still got 6 innings left to swing tonight.
They got some time to catch up with the other guy. Well, the way they've swung the bats the first 4 innings, they're going to score more than 5 runs. Clemson settled down. They got what I think was a gift run in the top half of this inning. Probably a catchable ball. Sauvé working the outside part of the plate against the right-handers for Stanford.
They have not been able to keep the Cardinal off the board in an inning yet in this game. Clemson Tiger pitching has to buckle down. On speed, strike 3, folded. Second strikeout for Sauvé.
Fooled him and froze him that time. That's where he had been working away with the curveball and the slider, and now look at those eyes right on that catcher's mitt. And this is a little backup. Doesn't break that much. Just happens to go right over the heart of the plate. Eric Sees knows it. 1 out.
Joe Kilberg is at the plate. 0 for 1 hit with the pitches last time. Joe Kilberg was 11 years old when he decided that he wanted to play for Stanford. He watched the College World Series on TV and decided then that he wanted to play for Stanford. He was invited to the prestigious Stanford baseball camp, and as it turned out, he wears the Cardinal red and white. Reaches out to Livingston. 2 up and 2 down in the 4th inning. Looking back over the roll call of champions since '84 here at the College World Series, see the West Coast influence here with Cal State Fullerton, '84, Stanford '87 and '88, Pepperdine in '92. Arizona also representing the Pac-10 there in '86. The best teams come from the warm weather regions, the most populated regions of our country, the Sun Belt, Florida, California. Pass to diving Miller. Livingston cuts it off. Throws to first, but not in time. Boy, great play by Livingston. Didn't get him. And boy, he went deep into the outfield grass to cut off that ground ball.
But it shows Doug Livingston is in the game and given 100%. And this Clemson team is like that. A reflection of his efforts. They're not going to give up. One more look. 2 or 3 steps by at that time. Pitcher coming over and covering too late. But a good effort.
A.J. Hinch is next to bat for Stanford with 2 outs here in the 4th inning. It caught us a little bit by surprise, Steve, that this kid lasted until the 3rd round. Most of the folks that were analyzing the draft felt that A.J. Hinch would go in the 1st round. A little disappointed. The Twins took him in the 3rd. He was the first collegiate catcher drafted. This guy has great tools, and it's going to be a wonderful pro.
I think it simply was because he had a sore arm early in the year. The scouts don't particularly care for sore arm catchers, but he's come back and he's got a good professional arm.
You look back though, and the draft is such an inexact science. I think one catcher comes to mind, Mike Piazza, 62nd round of the draft. We know what he's doing.
Didn't think he'd go that high either.
Nolan Ryan was a 10th round draft pick. Keith Hernandez was a 42nd round draft pick. Darren Dalton went in the 25th round. There's just no way to tell. Hard to get a scouting report on the size of the heart.
That's why the
Carter will come to third. Stanford with men on the corners. Well, the normally sure-gloved Seth Breisig has committed 2 errors tonight.
That's exactly what the Clemson Tigers cannot afford to do. They cannot afford to make the physical mistakes. They can't give Stanford runs at this point. Down 5-1. Got one last inning to take a little bit of burden off their shoulders, get them back in the game a little bit. And now with 2 down, the Cardinals still has the big man, Steve Carver, up.
And this is the last guy you want to face, Steve. 5 for 5 in the World Series. He has reached base in 9 consecutive at-bats safely, dating back to the region.
What if you're Sarve and you see that ball hit and you're thinking 3 outs and I'll have to face Carver with guys on base, and now he got it.
This is Carver batting for the 3rd time tonight. This was his previous at bat in the 3rd inning. No doubt about it, to right center. His 14th home run of the year. Now with men at 1st and 3rd. They fake the throw.
Bob, I'm involved in putting on summer clinics and part of a great camp this year, baseball development camp in Los Angeles on Santa Ana Valley. We always teach closing the front shoulder and front knee, and he does it better than anybody.
What benefit does that give you, Steve?
It really allows you to coil. It allows you to coil the lower and the upper half of the body and aggressively go at the ball horizontally. Take a look at this. Front shoulder, front knee. Everything goes horizontally instead of vertically. Aluminum bats, big hitting college hitters, sometimes you see a little more vertical swing. The Carver, less of a vertical swing than, say, a Jenkins for USC.
2. Rising handles this one. And goes the short way to Livingston. The error does not come back to haunt Seth Breisig and the Tigers, and we move to the 5th inning in a 5-1 game. 2-1, and hard-hitting Mark Kotze at the plate. He drops down the perfect sacrifice bunt. Cal State would eventually score to make it 1-0. Now to the top of the 2nd. Titans are up 3-1, and Kotze going deep to left center for the grand slam. His 19th home run of the year, and Fullerton led 7-1. Meanwhile, John Ward was on the mound for the Titans, going through 7 innings, giving up 4 hits, striking out 4. And Cal State put a hurting on Tennessee. The final was 11-1 this afternoon. So Fullerton is now 2-0. And there you see the final line score: 16 hits today for the Titans. Kotze with his 19th home run. The winner of this game to meet the Tennessee Volunteers next. Seth Breisig leading it off for Clemson here in the 5th inning. Breisig, a strikeout victim his first time up. Seth 1 for 5 in the College World Series. He has tied the Clemson career record for home runs by a shortstop with 19. Billy Spires hit 12 home runs in '86, the single season record. And we should point out that it is Billy Spires' birthday today, this Monday, June the 5th. So the former Clemson Tiger watching the young man who now plays his old position down in Tiger Town.
Pretty interesting pants there, a la George Hendricks, going all the way into the shoes.
And number 5, taking 2 strikes.
Pretty trendy, don't you think, Bob? You've seen it in the majors last couple of years, those pants going all the way down.
Right down to the tops of the shoe.
I should have done that. I would have looked taller, you know. But no, I had to wear them high. The old school, probably looked about 5'4" or 3 out of the field.
Not just the stirrups.
That's part of the game. Part of the uniform. It's that color contrast down low.
Peterson strikes out Crosby for a second straight time. One gone in the fifth.
There's the eyes of a great closer right there. Those are the great changeup. Swing and a miss. That's the difference between the good changeups and the great ones. The batter swings and misses.
Now Peterson to face Paul Galloway. Kyle Peterson is working on 5 days rest this game. When he worked in the regionals, he pitched first against Arkansas, had a complete game win. And Stanford won 10-3, came right back against Texas Tech with a complete game win on 2 days rest. Galloway 0-2.
Kyle Peterson is now in the freewheeling zone of his pitching game. He's loose, getting the fastball up there near 90.
It's quick work at Galloway.
The change up in the right outside corner. Curveball in the right spot. He's really at the top of his game right now.
Look at the concentration.
Say he's focused. You could say he's got vision instead of sight. Clemson now believes the scouting reports.
Jerome Robinson single to right field. 2 outs, bases empty. Robinson single, and the third, that was a good at bat, and then Miller hitting the ball to the left field.
Going out to get a very well.
Carter coming in, easy does it. 2-3-15 for Kyle Peterson at Stanford. Halfway through game 8 of the World Series, 5-1 Stanford.
Hit high in the air, deep to left field, way back there, gone! A grand slam homer! Stanford wins!
Paul Carey with that 9th inning grand slam that left the Cardinal to the victory. You'll notice he hit it off Ben McDonald of LSU. And the irony of the professional game, they were teammates in Baltimore briefly, now Paul back at AAA in Rochester.
The ironies of life.
Beautiful night here in Omaha, Nebraska. Things all looking good for Stanford right now, leading 5-1. Clemson has run into 2 great pitching performances. Todd Helton 2 nights ago, Kyle Peterson tonight.
Of course, Dusty Allen breaking things open for the Cardinal early in the game. So I'll be very conscious of not getting the ball over the plate against Allen. Allen Carver, the 2 big monster home runs.
You think back to that Fulton game, Steve, when Stanford batted in the 9th against the Titans 2 days ago. It was Dusty Allen at the plate, had a 3-0 count and 2 men on, and a fastball that had hit me written all over it. Just got underneath it, popped it up, the ball game was over. These 2 teams went in opposite directions.
Half an inch from not being in this game tonight.
Talk about the middle of that attack. Very productive tonight. And in the World Series today. Second walk allowed by Jeff Saunders. I tell you, our camera guys, no fear. If I get up there unless the insurance is paid. Fearless.
That's why we pay him the big bucks. We didn't see it. There's a parachute on the back end of that. You're doing a great job. Inside of the stadium, outside of the stadium.
Well, they give you fans some great pictures. There's no doubt about that. Nothing knocking it down. No chance for Allen to advance. Ryan Dallimore has been just a hit machine here for Stanford of late. hitting streak is up to 12 games. That first inning double. Alomar hit .478 in the regional. Jones one, rips away and fouls it off.
Good play that time by Stanford. Mark Marquis having Alomar square around and come back with both of the corners in, and with little reaction time. That was a good play.
Mark hanging out of sight. We'll see what's on here for Alomar.
I believe he'd rather hit and run than bunt. Allen not a real speedster at first base. Marcos has to make sure that he's got a hitter's count before he hit and runs. We'll let Alomar swing away. Put Alomar down, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That is the third strikeout for Jeff Sauvé.
Sauvé pitching nicely the last few innings. There's a slider just on the outside, out of the strike zone, makes Alomar go for it. Uses a little bit of anxiety here. See, that's the, every now and then he'll regress to that bad swing against a breaking ball.
Watching the pitching pattern of Jeff Sauvé, Steve, it seems like he wants to work down and away to both lefties and righties. And this one a little too much down and away. It bounces past Duffy, getting Allen down to second.
Oh, he also wants to work slower and slower. He knows that the harder he throws, the harder that ball is going to ricochet by him. And he's been changing speeds nicely. That time, a 58-footer instead of a 60-foot pitch.
And a wild pitch is the scoring. Schaefer hit with the pitches last time.
Time of the evening here at Rosenthal, Nebraska.
Drill to left, but Burnham, that's no catch, not a catch. They're going to bring the man to third and hold him there, Allen. Burnham trapped it. Rich Fedget, the third base umpire, right there to make the call. A base hit for Schaefer, and Stanford now with men at first and third.
Schaefer goes down and really hits a line hooking shot to left field. Burnham comes in, doesn't know whether he can get it. Short hops it. Now what he's got to do is get up and stop that runner from going to third. He tries to fake the umpire out, and the runner goes to third. You can't put on an act when there's a guy at second. The runner had to go back to second base. Let's take a look at him now. Allen, there he starts, goes back, and then gets to third base. Good job of base running. As soon as the outfield turned his back, he went.
Hit to second hard. Livingston goes to second for one to first. No, safe. Run scores. The ball gets away and is going to roll in toward the dugout. Miller is able to stop it. And are they going to give the man second base? Yes. Troy Kent will be awarded second. So Stanford adds a run. It's now 6-1. Hard hit ground ball. Livingston was desperately trying to start a double play that would have ended the inning. Another throwing error charged to Seth Breisig. That's his third error of the ballgame. Things really going sideways now, Steve, for Jack Leggett.
Stanford manufacturing runs, taking advantage of psychological errors by Clemson. Jack Leggett, I think, he's got to get his team in the dugout, get everybody together, and just, I mean, really be firm with them, even if he has to yell a little bit now to shake them up. I mean, they're back on the heels. They're doing things they haven't done all season.
And a base hit into right center field. This is going to take off and roll. Here comes Kenny Love to score. Taking for two. Sees second.
Doesn't matter what you say as a head coach. If you can't keep the other team from hitting the ball all around the ballpark and out of the ballpark, nothing you can do. Take a look at Seas. Lifts that leg up, hits just a shot to right center. Kent scores. Good effort, head first, safe at second. 7-1 Cardinal.
And Jack Leggett will make a pitching change. He'll go to the bullpen and bring in left-hander Brian Matz to pitch. That's going to be all for Jeff Sauvé. Stanford 7-1 leaders over the Tigers. Jeff Sauvé alone with his thoughts on the Clemson bench, yielding to date 3 runs in 3 2/3 innings. And now Jack Leggett turns to left-hander Brian Matz to come in, making his 20th appearance of the season. A 4.41 ERA. Brian making his first appearance of the World Series. A guy that offers a moving fastball and a tight slider. And trying to get that third out in the 5th inning and hold Stanford to just 2 runs in this frame. They've taken the lead up to 7-1. Joe Kilberg, the leadoff man. Kilberg went 0 for 5 against Fullerton. So far 0 for 7 in this World Series. What a big regional. His first collegiate home run, had 5 RBIs in that regional. Fouled at third base. 2-1. More action from Rosenblatt tomorrow on the Deuce. It'll be College World Series game number 10. With Tennessee taking on the winner of tonight's game. Cal State Fullerton won today to remain undefeated in bracket 2. They'll meet the winner of tomorrow night's game on Thursday. It's an elimination game tomorrow with the Volunteers against the winner of this one.
We can eliminate them, can't we, Bobby? So you could be called the Eliminator.
That's right. Garvey and Rathman, the Eliminators. We sent Oklahoma packing last night. And Stanford on the long end of it right now with the Tigers about to have their tickets punched. As they can reverse the trend here. And it's going to come really from the mound first. They have got to shut down Stanford, then go to work on Peterson.
They've got to get out of this and then start to be patient with Kyle Peterson. Start to try to take him the other way. They're trying to pull that change up and it's just not working.
In listening to you and Fred Lynn, and we learned so much inside baseball learning from you two. I've heard that comment made so many times, going the opposite way against these pitchers to try to get something going. It seems so easy to do, but obviously when you're up there at the plate, that's tougher than it sounds.
Well, your mentality has to be you want to hit the ball hard through the middle. Your approach has to be that way. Then you can extend out for the pitch on the outside and use your hands on the inside. But if you're thinking of really trying to pull and drive that ball, once that front shoulder opens and the hips open, you can't hit that outside pitch, nor can you hit with authority the change up with a curveball. So you've got to think through the middle the other way. And if you do that, your mechanics is going to be very, very good. Some people say, oh, you're going to get jammed, but you really aren't. You're going to be quicker on the inside pitch.
Runner breaks to third, and a bouncer under Galloway's glove. Seas scores 8-1. Boy, it looked like Matz forgot all about the base runner.
Very much like a screenshot you'll see in the hockey game between Detroit and Chicago probably tomorrow night. This ball was screened by the runner by Seas in front of Galloway. He does a good job of getting the bat on the ball. See how he cuts in front of him? I guarantee you that distracted him because he thought the ball was coming up. Couldn't get the glove down. There's the Stanford Cardinal fans. They're happy.
RBI single for Kilberg, and Cale Carter is the batter. And this in the air to left. Burnham backs up and takes it to retire the side. just a note, you understand that was an error charge to Galloway. 8-1 now, Stanford leading. Everything going Stanford's way here as we move to the top of the 6th inning. 8-1, the Cardinal leading Stanford. Bob Rathman, Steve Garvey, and happy to have you with us tonight here at the College World Series. The Cardinal bouncing back from a very disappointing defeat to Fullerton in high style so far.
The Cardinal doing everything well, taking the extra base, taking advantage of mental errors by Clemson, hitting the long ball. Clemson, on the other hand, not doing anything right, making 4 errors already, only 4 hits, not capitalizing on runners in scoring position. So for the first half of this game, the Stanford Cardinal in command.
Well, if Clemson is going to get it going, they need this man on base. Shane Monahan, 0-2, swinging at that first pitch, which has been his trademark here. It's 0-1. Let us go downstairs now to Larry Conley.
You know, Bob, it's a good perspective I have down here on the field. It's an opportunity to look at all the players and really how quick they run, how well they hit. My observation is I've seen 2 things that really have impressed me. And I'll let you finish this play.
Monahan grounding out to short.
Obviously, the bat of Mark Kotze at Cal State Fullerton, he has been outstanding during this tournament. And also the glove, I think, of the entire Miami infield. This is a good baseball team, maybe somewhat underrated when they came in here. But I think overall, and Steve, you might agree with this, I think the California teams have really been the story of this tournament so far.
That's right, Larry. They have shown a tremendous amount of power, but also have stayed within themselves. The Stanford team, seeded number 8, really is not an 8th seed. They've played very, very well in coming back from a tough loss.
Oh, and slipping and falling is Kilberg, and Livingston is going to come to second. Some of the remnants of all the rain out there, and Kilberg could not hit the brakes. When he did, he went right out from under it. Livingston. Make sure you replace your divots.
An example of wet turf. He goes to stop. See, both feet slide. The ball gets by him. That's not his fault. That's the playing surface. He barely gets a hand on it. He saves a triple, really. Does a good job of reacting.
Livingston gets credit for a double. You can see the outfield torn up just a bit after all the rain. David Miller at the plate, 1 ball and no strikes. Had a frustrating couple of games against 2 good pitchers. There's a guy who hit over 380, well into 380s, 390 during the regular year, and in the region. They pretty much stopped him here. 1 for 5 in the World Series. Here's a kid who's a first-round pick of the Indians. Down there, the 23rd man chosen in the first round, joining those other 5 here at the College World Series.
Miller, an upright hitter. What he does is, as the ball is being delivered, he really breaks those seals and those knees and twirls up. Monahan, a different hitter, equally as good, but more of a crouch hitter. Like Yastrzemski a little bit, upright.
Came to Clemson as a pitcher, Steve, and was a singles hitter for a couple of years. Career really not going anywhere, but he physically filled out, added 30 pounds as he hit the weights and turned himself into a first-round pick. That's 1 to first, and between hop and Troy Kent, and he makes the play, which he comes to third.
Good hands of Troy Kent that time, taking a tough hop. Excellent first baseman. Let's take a look at Miller. Pulls that front knee and goes down there. A little bit of an acceleration. See, he tried to pull that outside pitch that time instead of going with it. If he would have thought in terms of going up the middle, probably would have hit a line drive, 1 hopper to center.
Left fielder Gary Burnham is 1 for 2 this evening. 0-1.
Clemson is just not capitalized on guys in scoring position from their big men.
David Miller and Shane Monahan are a combined 0 for 6 tonight, Steve. And that's been part and parcel of their batting woes of the series. They were ineffective against Clemson. Here comes Livingston. He will score. Ball getting away from A.J. Hinch. And Clemson Clemson has its second run.
Clemson is now pecked away for a run in the fourth, and they've gotten a run here in the sixth inning basically because of some physical lapses and a mental lapse by Stanford. But they need a 2-3 run home run really to get them back in this game.
There's a drive that will come though with the bases empty. It's a home run for Gary Burnham. 8-3. That's Burnham's 8th home run this season.
Or a solo shot. Or something. Kind of power to let that anxiety release and the tenseness they have.
Gary Burnham connects, and that puts a little life into the Clemson bench.
And this is just an average fastball down the middle by Kyle Peterson. And you can't throw that to a fourth-place hitter like Burnham.
Nor can you throw it to this man, Matt LaCroix. He can crush a baseball. Got credit for the base hit and RBI to center his last time. That was that drop pop out there. 2 runs home, 8-3, and now time called as Stanford is going to take time here and talk things over on the mound. Pitcher coach Dean Stotts has asked for time, and he's out there to talk things over with Peterson and the entire Cardinal infield. The 8 clubs here at the College World Series divided into 2 brackets and concurrent double elimination tournaments going on to get the 2 winners for Saturday's game. This one in bracket 2, Stanford Clemson, loser eliminated. Winner to beat Tennessee. You see Fullerton and Miami right now sitting in the driver's seat at 2-0. Oklahoma has already been wiped out of the field. Conference over. LaCroix continues at 2 balls and no strikes.
One final thought on Oklahoma, Bob. They wore the crown well. They really represented college baseball well up until their elimination last night. Class, organization, team.
Well, I think that's a direct reflection of their head coach, Larry Cochin.
Very impressed with him. First time I had met him was just a couple days ago, and you can see why the program is very successful.
Roy taking inside. That fills the count. That's right. Gone but not forgotten. The Oklahoma Sooners.
They'll be back sooner than later, I'm quite sure.
Yes. The 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. Kyle Peterson picks up his 4th strikeout. Punching out Matt LaCroix. It's 8-3 Stanford as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning here at the College World Series. Stanford cruising 8-3 over Clemson as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Cardinal with A.J. Hinch, Steve Carver, and Dusty Allen to face Brian Matz of the Tigers. A.J. Hinch is coming up.
Big turning point in the game right now. They just got a couple of runs, the Tigers. Now they're facing the big boys of Stanford. They can shut them down this inning. That's another confidence builder for the Tigers and their pitching staff.
How tough is A.J. Hinch? On May the 14th against Arizona State, this young man was hit in the mouth during batting practice, taken to a dentist, came back to pinch hit in the 9th inning to send the game into extra innings. And that was part of that big sweep for Stanford down at Arizona State. Fly to right, pretty deep. Robinson back to the track, and he's got it. Well, that wind blowing in from right held it up just enough, and Robinson was able to make the catch.
Gave us a pretty good scare that time, didn't he? He was going back as if that ball had a good chance for a home run. What held it up was the wind blowing from right to left. Hinch, who has power to all fields, watch him stay back. Oh, the head was down beautifully. Went with the pitch, backspin, but the wind holds it up. for out number 1.
Steve Carver is next. Put into a field his choices last time. First out that he's made here at the World Series. Started off with 5 straight hits over 2 games, a home run and a single tonight.
He's made it out, huh?
Stop the presses. Look at that breeze, as Steve pointed out, from right to left. Two and one. The big 3, Hinch, Carver, and Allen, doing a lot of damage here in Omaha.
You can tell when a hitter is on and hitting well, especially a power hitter. He doesn't get cheated at the plate. It was a pretty good pitch on the outside part of the plate that time. Steve Carver, a good cut. If he would have made contact, that ball is going to fly towards center, left center. They're in the zone. I heard the guys talk about the zone. He's in the zone.
Steve Carver, young man from Jacksonville, Florida. The man before him, Hinch, an Oklahoma boy from Midwest City. Dusty Allen from Oklahoma City waits on deck from all over the country. They come to play for the Cardinals. 3 and 2.
Take a look at Steve Carver from a variety of different angles to show you what comprises a good hitter. See the eyes, the head's right in there, going with the pitch. Watch the body balance. If you draw a line from the head straight down, his weight is evenly distributed.
Flips one to left. It's got some carry to it, and Burnham at the fence. 2 outs.
Clemson dodges 2 bullets in a row.
Gary Burnham is at the end.
See where the ball goes into the glove. Would it have gone out? Probably a couple inches shorter than the yellow line there, but that's close enough. I mean, that ball was hit very well.
Hinch to the track in right, Carver to the fence in left. Where will Dusty Allen cut it? Dusty.
If I'm one of these quality players in this College World Series and I'm drafted, I hope I play for the Omaha Royals. This stadium is great to hit it.
Here's a ground to short. Pryzik has had a tough night defensively. Comes back to throw out Allen. 3 up and 3 down. Stanford leading in runs and in yardage. 8-3 over Clemson. Tremendous run support for Kyle Peterson tonight. It was 5-0 through 3. And Stanford leads by 5 as we head to the 7th. There you see the pitching line for Kyle Peterson. Let's head downstairs to Larry.
Well, I'm sitting here, Bob, with Susan and Monty Peterson, Kyle's mom and dad. Susan, I have to ask you, are you one of those nervous mothers when your son is pitching?
Oh, my gosh, yes. You got to be kidding. I'm superstitious. I wear the same shirt when he pitches every time. Put the flag outside, say a little prayer, and then we go to the game.
Okay. Monty, how about you?
I don't think I'm quite as nervous as she is, but it sure helps when you get by the 2nd inning. So things calm down a little bit, and then I can make it okay. But, a little rough at the start.
They were a little nervous, I'll tell you, Bob, to start, but they're much better now.
Bounce to first. Kent underhand to Peterson covering.
You know, I see a lot of both parents in Kyle. His dad, obviously, calm, relaxed. Mom's on edge, you know, as moms do. That's the same way my parents were. But Big Joe was calm and relaxed, and Millie was yelling and screaming and covering her eyes. You know, they are so proud of Kyle.
A lot easier on everybody when you got a 5-run lead. Pryzik has all kinds of difficulties with Peterson tonight. Seth having one of those games. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of punch outs, and he's made 3 errors. Much better ball player than that.
And to be perfectly honest, Seth is not the reason that the Tigers are down by 5 runs and the Cardinal has 8 runs. I mean, most of his mistakes really didn't contribute to the runs. struck out, but nobody really in scoring position per se. So just one of those nights where nobody really has made the significant contribution for the Tigers. They haven't just played well as a team. They're out of sync.
Peterson did all that damage, the 16 strikeouts and the 2 wins on 2 days rest in between starts. One against Arkansas, the other against Texas Tech. Peterson takes care of that one with ease. 2 up and 2 down.
A lot of adjectives come to mind that with that pitch. Got into his kitchen. Jam City. Anything you can think of. Look at this check swing. If that's a wooden bat, that bat is shattered, broken in half. Peterson focus. Oh, really rode inside that time. Really, Jim.
Paul Galloway following it. No quit of these Clemson Tigers, though. They had a game earlier this year against NC State in Raleigh, where they were down 15-4 going to the top of the 9th. Scored 11 runs in the top of the 9th to tie the game, and 2 in the 10th to win it 17-15.
Down by 5 here. This is nothing.
Got them right where they want.
That's right. But there's only 7 outs to go.
1-2 on Galloway. Bases empty, 2 gone. Peterson trying for the 3rd time tonight to get the Tigers 1-2-3. And they run around on the swing. They'll have to throw him out, and they do. AJ hits the covers quickly. The strikeout is the 5th for Kyle Peterson. 2-3 to complete the play. Fred 7th, 8-3. Jack Leggett's Clemson Tigers trailing by 5 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Everybody up to date on what's happened here at the College World Series. Here are the scores. The first game of the series, that dandy between the Seminoles and Sooners, won by J.D. Drew's home run. Then Miami beat USC by 5. Fullerton over Stanford 6-5. Tennessee behind Todd Helton, shutting down Clemson 3-1. Then Miami beat Florida State 4-2. Southern Cal bounced out Oklahoma 9-4. And then earlier today, Cal State Fullerton over Tennessee 11-1. That has resulted in this breakdown of the brackets. Miami and Cal State Fullerton both at 2-0. Oklahoma has been eliminated. The loser of this game will be eliminated as we continue toward the national championship game. Ryan Dallimore, the second baseman, leading off the Stanford 7th inning. And he hits the ball on the ground out to second. Doug Livingston circles, secures, and throws it. 1 up and 1 down in the 7th inning. John Schaefer is next, the designated hitter for Stanford. Just joining us tonight, this ball game, Stanford Cardinal hitting 2 home runs in the first 3 innings. Dusty Allen hit a 2-run shot to highlight a 3-run first. Sooners got another one in the second. Then Steve Carver homered in the 3rd inning. That made it 5-0 Stanford after 3. And they lead it 8-3, out hitting Clemson 10-6 along the way. Ryan Matz is the 3rd pitcher employed by Jack Leggett tonight. Starter Billy Koch couldn't make it through 2 innings.
Well, aside from the 3 runs in the 5th inning, the Tigers have settled down pitching-wise and done a pretty good job. But a few mental lapses really allowed the Cardinal to add 3 more runs and make it a 5-run difference, where it could easily been just a 2-run difference at this point.
Depths all day on the Clemson bench. Facing down that shoulder, he lasted 3 2/3. He was the middle reliever. Shane Monahan has it trapped. 2 up and 2 down in the 7th inning. A reminder, friends, USA Soccer, the Women's World Championship tomorrow at 4 p.m. on the Deuce. USA versus China from Sweden, first round game. United States women begin defense of their 1991 World Cup title. All the action tomorrow at 4 Eastern time on ESPN2. I like that music. Very nice.
Rhythm. It's the way it is here on the Deuce.
Live one, little rock and roll edge. I like that. Troy Kent. Batting with 2 outs and the bases empty. Steve, one thing about your career, you always reminded me, you were kind of an ESPN2 guy before it ever came into existence. You know, the
flowered shirts.
Yeah, the chains.
Brooks Brothers tie. I like to contrast my look a little bit so I could appeal to everyone.
Hey, but I mean, this is...
That's right. Patriotic. I've got the eagle.
Oh, yeah.
On my shoulder. Yeah. Milan Scott. Must be alligators or horses. No, not me.
You got eagle.
I'm an eagle. I'm a mark.
Livingston, the second baseman, taking charge. And for the first time tonight, in back-to-back innings, the Clemson Tigers retire Stanford. They're trying to get something going on the mound, but it might be too late. Out of the darkness, into the light. The Colorado Rockies being represented here at the College World Series. 8-3, Stanford leading as we head to the 8th inning. Jerome Robinson is going to lead it off. Larry Cochelle made the point yesterday after Oklahoma was eliminated. He was saying that you come to the College World Series and the spotlight of the nation is on Omaha. You lose a couple of games and fans might get the wrong notion about a ball club. They have not had a good year. They're not a quality team. That could be the furthest thing.
It's very difficult to come into the spotlight because people, just like the Major League World Series, maybe you don't watch it the whole year and then focus on the World Series, see the 2 best teams, and here it's the best 8. They don't really know a whole lot about the season. Oklahoma trying to defend again this year. Just to get here was a monumental achievement. So the first game they lost, what a heartbreaker. They come back, they get beaten, it happens once in a while, so all of a sudden they're going 2 games. Difference between perception and reality, they could have easily won it again.
Brendan Sullivan is the right-hander, Dan Reed the left-hander in the Oklahoma pen. On Stanford pen, excuse me.
Brendan Sullivan is a very interesting young man because he used to throw 3/4 overhand and really wasn't doing much for the Cardinal, and all of a sudden he's thrown in the outfield one day, just fooling around, throwing just like that. And all of a sudden the coaches see him and say, hey, get over to the mound, let's take a look at this. And all of a sudden he becomes a very, very effective reliever. Ted Abernathy comes to mind, Kent to Colby.
Through the middle and in the center. Allen trying to get a glove on it. And Jerome Robinson picks up his second base hit of the ball game. More action on ESPN tomorrow here in Omaha. The College World Series continues, an elimination game between Florida State and Southern Cal. And then on the Deuce, we'll have Tennessee against the winner of this game at 7:30 Eastern Time. That's College World Series action tomorrow on ESPN and ESPN2. Shane Monahan at the plate. Strangely quiet tonight and in this World Series. He's 1 for 7 in 2 games.
He didn't swing at the first pitch.
He's taken 2 in a row now.
He's working, that might be a new tournament record. He's talking to himself. You know a guy's struggling when you hear those words intended for himself and not somebody else. Lips are moving.
A.J. Hinch out to the mound to talk it over here with Kyle Peterson.
Jack Liggett knows he's still in the game. And they have excellent ability throughout the season to come from behind. Only 5 runs down, but he knows he needs a rally now. He's only got 6 outs left.
And he rips one straight back.
That's the charm of baseball. There is no time limit. You've got to get the other team out 27 times and have 1 more run, and you're the winner. And however long it takes, so be it.
2-2.
Shane normally wouldn't have swung at that pitch. Swinging the balls that are on the perimeter of what is usually his zone. And it's typical with any hitter. Reading an article about Jeff Bagwell today, MVP last year in the National League, 368 hitter, hitting barely 200 this year, talking about the same thing. He's too anxious.
Robinson back. The guy Monahan, who was the MVP of the East Regional at Clemson, hit .438. Nothing going right here in Omaha.
Beckley wants base runners, and then that big 3-run homer.
Struck in. 6 strikeouts for Kyle Peterson. He has just retired a tough hitter.
Watch this changeup. Bottom falls out. One of the great college hitters just swings right through it.
One going now for Doug Livingston. Notice as Peterson gets Livingston to swing, you have a tendency to forget this kid is a freshman.
He's a freshman, he's big and strong, but he still needs to mature as a person, as a pitcher. Now, last time out he threw 146 pitches. He doesn't usually come back this quick after throwing that many. Now that pitch right there could have been his best fastball in 5 innings. That was 87 miles per hour. But the reason he can come back is that he doesn't throw a lot of curveballs and sliders. He throws the changeup. That's easier on the arm.
And Carver to second. Pitcher's best friend. And Peterson sets him down the 8th. 8-3 Stanford. Yes, sir.
Look at that front shoulder closed, the eyes focused on the mitt. Now you'll see a circle change. See, it comes out of the last 3 fingers. The ball dips down, forces the hitter to hit the ball into the ground. Hitter has to hit on top of it. Taylor made 5-4-3 double play.
A new pitcher on the mound for the Clemson Tigers. As we move to the bottom of the 8th inning, this is Scott Winchester, the All-America reliever for the Tigers. Coming on to work here in the bottom of the 8th inning of an 8-3 game. And for Winchester, this is his first appearance of the World Series. What a marvelous season he has had. Scott Winchester goes to the mound with a 4-2 record, 14 saves, and Steve, a microscopic earned run average of 0.60. He's had a whale of a year. Now gets a chance to pitch an inning here in the World Series.
Talk about ERAs that are almost microscopic, and that tells you he has been a big part of the success of this Clemson Tiger team. Instead of a position of saving a game, which is his normal role, now he's just trying to keep the Cardinal from scoring again.
Eric Sees has had a big night tonight, 1 for 2 with an RBI. Stanford leading 8-3 and a chance to play another game.
Series. You missed a couple the other night and they booed him. That shows you you're only as good as your next catch.
Strike 3 call. Good pitch on the inside edge from Winchester. Over his great Clemson career, Winchester with 34 career saves. Look at the spin on that.
Scott really with a good tight slider that time.
The old
that locked him up. I mean, that froze him that time.
So the spin of that ball reminded me of the old expression, red dot slider.
Yeah, when you see it tight like that, that's a very good one. Old saying that you talk about the dot, it should be about the size of a nickel. That's the good ones. The great ones are the size of a dime. The hitter can see it and call which one. It's going to be a good hitter, too.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because he's going to get a hit.
And you can tell the year on there. That's good.
Joe Kilberg with his first hit tonight. Who are some of the guys, Steve, that you remember had some of the sliders? Carlton coming down?
Carlton was excellent. The toughest slider for a left-hander, I remember. J.R. Richard throw a slider 92 miles per hour. John Candelaria from left side, very, very good. Tom Seaver, Gibson. Yeah, pick the guys that were great. They had the good tight sliders and really could spot it very well.
Cale Carter's been spotting a lot of base hits here.
Just mentioned Bob Gibson. Bob Gibson from Omaha.
Yes,
favorite
indeed.
son. Obviously one of the greatest pitchers of all time. The fiercest competitor I think I can ever remember. Talked about Allen's hamate bone coming back. Dusty Allen. I broke mine. Came back 6 weeks later. First guy I faced was Gibson. First pitch I hit it foul about 400 feet down the line. Next pitch I was picking myself off the ground.
A friendly reminder.
Yes, sir.
There's a base hit by Carter. That is his third tonight and his fifth of the World Series. First and second for the Cardinal with one away.
Carter, a catalyst for this Cardinal team. Whatever distance they go in this World Series, that man will have an effect on it. If he hits, they could go all the way. Watch this nice compact swing. Stays right in there, head in. Keeps the head of that bat tracking the ball for a very long period of time.
A.J. Hinch, an uncharacteristic 0 for 4 tonight. The only Cardinal in the batting order without a hit.
But this is what he does best. Runners in scoring position.
0-1. A.J. consensus first team All-American this year on Baseball America's Dream Team. He leads his ball club in 7 different offensive categories. Scott Winchester. The runners at first and second. Good breaking ball.
We talked about that today. One of these years or one of these Olympics, there will be a dream team in baseball. And this young man hoping to make next year's Olympic team as a collegiate, as an amateur. It's probably going to be the one of the last Olympic teams with amateurs. Waste pitch by Scott that time.
Well, our camera guys can't wait till the end of the game. They are already on their way to the malt shop. The famous Zesto's here in Omaha, right up the street from the ballpark. Save us one, guys. We'll be there shortly.
The Cardinals have runners on base. The Tigers 3 outs away from elimination.
Right? Nope, it's a foul ball.
Tough pitch that time by Winchester. Hinch, a tough 2-strike hitter. That ball wasn't tipped. Let's take a look at his swing. He steps right at the pitcher. Doesn't foul it, just misses it for strike 3, 2-1. Let's take a look here. He swings right through it, misses it by 3-4 inches. Power against power.
As the mound, Isaac is in and throws him out. Nice play by Seth Isaac. And that'll do it. So the Tigers coming up for the last time, 8-3 Stanford. Now, win or lose, great memories to carry with you for a lifetime here at the College World Series. Clemson skipper Jack Leggett has played and he is coached in the College World Series.
Well, I came here 20 years ago or 19 years ago as a player for the University of Maine, and I still remember the feeling of walking on Rosenblatt Stadium and playing, and I remember the scores of the game. I remember everything. So it was a great memory for me, and I know it'll be a great memory for the players we have.
Jack Leggett was telling us a story about his World Series playing experience against Eastern Michigan, facing a couple of pitchers by the name of Bob Ochico and Bob Welch. Both went on to the major leagues. David Miller leading it off in the Tiger ninth. Heads over 3.
We talked earlier about this Clemson team never giving up. Early in the season came from 11 runs behind in the 9th inning and went on to win. So this is 5, and like Bob said, they think they've got the Cardinal right where they want them.
That was the ACC matchup with State when that happened, Steve. Foul back, 1-2. And Clemson using that victory to go on and claim the regular season championship in the ACC.
I don't think they were facing a pitcher of the quality of Kyle Peterson that day.
Base hit for Dave Miller. Well, Mom and Dad can't get these 3 outs in the 9th inning fast enough.
They've got to straighten up. They've got to get better posture, show confidence. Hit like that will make you shrink a little bit.
Gary Burnham homered to right field his last time. Matt LaCroix waiting on deck. See what Mr. Peterson is going to hit on the gun here.
I don't think it's a lot. Bat 87, and as we said before, 86, 87, 88, very good hitting speed.
The submariner Brendan Sullivan is warming up in the Stanford bullpen. Clemson desperately trying to put something together here in the 9th. 1-2.
Peterson will waste a fastball in an 0-2 situation. He's got another pitch to waste.
There's a look at Sullivan.
Now come back with a change. He's slipping a little fastball on me there. He's setting him up. Don't wait till 2-2 or we'll use it this time.
You guess hitters are all the same.
Guesstimating. Guesstimating. If I guesstimated 80% of the time, I was in good shape.
Outside, levels the count. 2-2.
More of a slurve that time. He's really setting him up for the changeup. Compare the changeup. Any points, anytime.
Kyle Peterson trying to close out his 10th complete game, and this his 18th start
as a freshman. Remarkable.
Strike 3.
There it is. Set him up 2-2 for the changeup. What he's done all game.
Well, the Peterson family loving it. And meanwhile, Dave Leggett's wife knows that her husband team's 2 outs away from elimination. Matt LaCroix, the DH. And that comes in and hits him. Something like it's got him a little bit on the helmet, near the bat. LaCroix is hit with the pitch.
I mentioned Peterson likes to pitch inside, especially the right-handers. They went too far up and in. Dad's gone to the nails. Mom's marking in her scorebook. Kyle's calmer than anybody else in the family at this time. One away, top of the 9th. Stanford leading 8-3.
Will Duffy is lined out, flied to left, and bounced back to the first baseman. Fouls this one away, and it's 0-1. The only loss for Kyle Peterson this year, way back on March the 7th to Nevada. He's won 10 straight. Here we are June the 5th, and he's got a 5-run lead in the ninth. Duffy behind 0-2.
What he does with the left-handed hitters is he'll spot the fastball away, maybe throw back up curveball or slider, and he gets him with that changeup.
No walks for Peterson. More than 35 and 133 2/3 innings coming in. One and two.
Slider outside. Peek at the umpire that time. Sets him up for the change.
Bounce to second. They get one. They get two. And Stanford wins. Welcome home, Kyle Peterson. A complete game win in the College World Series. Kyle Peterson, with that victory, matches the Stanford single-season record with 14 wins. Ryan Dallimore starting the 4-6-3 game-ending double play. Stands for third double play tonight and the 28th of the World Series. Mom and Dad watch the twin killing, and the victory belonged to son Kyle. A great moment for the freshman from Omaha. We'll talk to him when we come back. Our final score tonight from Rosenblatt Stadium: the Stanford Cardinal 8 and the Clemson Tigers 3. Clemson is eliminated from the World Series with this defeat. We'll continue in a moment. Kyle Peterson's 11th consecutive victory, his 10th complete game, comes in the College World Series to keep his Cardinal teammates alive, winning over Clemson 8-3. Peterson did not walk a man tonight, and Omaha's favorite son is standing by with Larry Conley.
Thank you, Bob. Kyle, an absolutely terrific outing for your homecoming. This has got to make you feel awfully proud.
This is neat. It was neat to come home. It was great just to get the chance to throw today and come out and perform the way I really wanted to. I'm real happy about that.
You look like you had complete control of every pitch out there. You only ran into one bad inning.
Yeah, I ran out of that inning. When I threw that ball by A.J., I think I kind of lost my head for a minute. I threw the ball right in the zone. The guy put a great swing on it. But, I mean, I was just trying to throw strikes and make them beat me. I got a great defense behind me. It's been that way the entire year, and, you know, they showed you the same thing today.
You look like your fastball was in the upper 80s, but your change really looked like your best pitch tonight.
Yeah, my velocity wasn't where I wanted it to be, but the change was really moving good for me, and I feel almost more comfortable throwing that pitch than the fastball when I really need to throw a strike. So I was real happy with that. The curveball helped me out in some big spots. I think the curveball was a big part tonight because a lot of times I don't throw that for a strike. When I'm throwing that for a strike, it makes the other two a lot more effective.
How do you feel about having another opportunity? You're one game away from going back to having to play Fullerton again. You'd like to do that, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'd love to play Fullerton again. You know, they're a great team. They've shown that the entire year. But to win a national title, we're going to have to beat them twice. They're a great team, but, you know, we've got Tennessee to worry about first. That's for sure. But when we get to Fullerton, I like our chances. I like our chances. They're a very good team, but we're swinging the bats real well. I think we did against Silva the other day. You know, we put a ball in the gap the other day. It's a different game at a big spot, so we're looking forward to getting another shot at it.
Okay, Kyle, thanks a lot. Bob, youth will be served tonight.
Indeed, and served very well by Mr. Peterson. It's just incredible to me, Steve Garvey, that this kid, a freshman, pitching well beyond his years tonight.
He only has the composure that you see of there's his mom and dad. I just love seeing this, the joy of their son's victory. But he's a a young man with a man's body and a young boy's heart. You can hear him say he's just happy to be here, happy the way things went tonight, looking forward to the next game.
Once again, our final score tonight, Stanford 8 and Clemson 3. Coming up next on ESPN2, highlights of the 1990 College World Series. Tune in tomorrow for more College World Series action at 3:30 p.m. on ESPN. Florida State faces the USC Trojans in an elimination game. And then tomorrow night at 7:30, it's Stanford and Tennessee in another do-or-die situation. So for Steve Garvey and Larry Conley, this is Bob Rathman saying so long from the College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska. We'll see you right back at Rosenblatt tomorrow.